G'day, welcome to I Cultivate. My name's Steve. Are you a coffee lover? Well, if you are, this episode is for you because what we're going to be looking at is whether those used coffee grounds are useful in your garden. Used coffee grounds are really quite rich in nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. But even though they have high levels of this, don't think that you can use them as a fertiliser replacement. The best way to use these coffee grounds is as a soil conditioner. And I'm going to do that by adding them to compost, giving them a good mix in, and then letting the composting process take its place. Now I'm going to add these used coffee grounds to this small patch of compost that I've had brewing here for quite a while. Now the thing to remember is that with compost we really need to make sure that we have good balance of browns and green material. Now it might seem a bit counterintuitive because coffee grounds are brown, but coffee grounds actually count as green material when it comes to that balance in our compost. Now you'll see up in the corner of the screen right now a link to an article about composting, but keeping in mind that the balance is really important, what I'm now going to do is just sprinkle some of these coffee grounds onto this pile of compost, and then I'll dig it all through. Now you'll need to make a judgment about how much green and brown material you have in your compost. So when you actually are digging your coffee grounds through, make sure you do monitor things like moisture content to determine whether you need to add any more brown or in fact any more green material. Now once we have got these coffee grounds dug through our compost and we allow it to compost down a little bit, what you will find is that those used coffee grounds actually have enhanced the compost, and when added to the soil will make a wonderful soil conditioner. Now the alternative to adding them to your compost is you can actually really lightly sprinkle your coffee grounds on top of the soil, but you really have to be careful. It must be light. The coffee grounds must not be clumped, because if they are clumped or you do it too thickly, well then that can have the impact of repelling water from the soil, and it can even block oxygen from the roots of the plants. So make sure that you sprinkle only very lightly, and then you rake or dig in those coffee grounds into the soil. You know, one of the things that you will hear people talk about when it comes to using coffee grounds in your garden is acidity. The common concern is that by adding coffee grounds to my soil, what I'm going to do is lower the pH. In other words, I'm going to increase the acidity. Now, I can tell you that as long as your coffee grounds have been used, in other words, you've brewed the coffee with them, that acidity has mostly been removed. So it is only pre-brewed coffee grounds that will have that acidity impact on your soil if you use them. But why would you use coffee grounds that you haven't used yet? But you know, as gardeners, one of the things that we should always be aware of is the pH of our soil. So if you're concerned, make sure you do a pH test of your soil. Make sure you understand where that pH lies. Is it alkaline or is it acidic? And based on that, use your coffee grounds with caution directly onto the soil. As you can see, we've got some lovely cucumbers on the way here, but I want to just give you a word of caution when it comes to using these coffee grounds, and that is, again, if you're using them directly on the soil, just be mindful of the fact that it's not a good idea to use them when the plants are young, because they can actually inhibit germination of seeds, and in addition to that, they can slow the growth of very young seedlings. So probably best to use in situations like I have here with the cucumber, where the plant itself is already mature. So are used coffee grounds a good thing for the garden? And the simple answer to that is yes. as long as you use them wisely. Remember, the best way to use them is to add them to your compost, ensure that they are composted down well, and when used like this, not only do they supplement the compost with nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, they also have the effect of being wonderful soil conditioners. So yes, when used wisely, they are a wonderful thing for your garden. So have you used coffee grounds in your garden? We'd love to hear how that has gone in the comments down below. And if you have liked this video, I'd really love for you to go down and give us a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and go to our website icultivate.net and become a member of the community. Thanks for watching.